The Tim and Jenn Show.
Good afternoon. My name's Tim Ryan. Welcome to another edition of the Tim and Jenn Show. Of course, yes, I'm sitting here with Jennifer, my co-host, my amazing badass wife, my best friend, my business partner, my bonus mom to Mackenzie, Max, Tanner, and Abby. We have Mackenzie out here, and you're rocking with her. But anyhow, hi, Jen. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jennifer Jimenez Ryan, and we are so happy you are here with us today. Thanks for tuning in again. I just said that. We thank you for saying that. And
well, I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sitting here thinking we've had Mackenzie, our almost 6-year-old out here. Jen's a stepmom, and little Mackenzie she's morphed from 2 years ago looking at the pictures to now. But you can sit down and have conversations and emotions, and like when you're getting ready for the show, everything she's doing and all the makeup and
oh my gosh, she painted her face and rhinestones and just allowing her to create. Sorry, I just go, here's this, do what you want with rhinestones, right? Like, I mean, they're for kids. And she's like creating, and she wants her hair like JoJo.
You let her create, you let her
unicorns.
You empower her to look deeper inside of herself. There's been a couple meltdowns, but you talk with her about, why are you upset? Why are you sad? And it turns out to be something so stupid, but the way you communicate with her to get her to express herself. I thank you.
Oh, I think it's important. I think about the things that my family did for me and the things that they didn't do for me that I wish they did. And I just incorporate it,
Well, it's that, but it's like we were talking the other day about school. Get rid of geometry or algebra and teach people real life skills. How to manage a checking account, how to open one, how to get a credit card, why you need a credit card, how to do that, how to finance a home, how to start a business. But it's also how to communicate with children, how to communicate with people. That's what this is all about.
I was looking at you
and health and wellness, but my only regret is I don't know how to say it, but I wish you'd been in Mackenzie's life the whole time, because she'd be speaking 4 languages and
it's so cute. She really wants to speak. She catches my mom and I, or me on the phone speaking. And the other day I was speaking French to somebody for a second, and then I spoke Italian and then Spanish, and she was trying to chime in the conversations, and it was just so cute. And I remember I try to do that all the time. I mean, I was already speaking different languages, but it's nice to see that she's so in tune and tapped in to a creativity that's way beyond my understanding. Yeah, for a almost 6-year-old. And I wish I could explain. And everyone always thinks their kid is the
explain the balloon.
Wait, but they think their kid's the unique one or whatnot, and I get it because they are, right? But I see her, as an outsider. I'm watching her, and I'm watching her really get detailed about everything creative wise. And it's so beautiful. We got a balloon. She went to camp last week, and she came home and she goes, look what I got. I was like, what is that? It was a water balloon that they should have thrown away.
A dirty one that was popped on the ground.
But they had a water balloon fight that day. So she went and she got the balloon and kept it in her pocket. And she goes, I was thinking I could make something out of this. And I'm like, what? Like, who does that, right? And she's like, well, what do you think? And I was like, well, maybe we can make an outfit for the Barbie. And we got a little tiny kid scissors, and she cut into it and put arms, and we taped it and fit the whole little balloon.
A swimsuit.
As a swimsuit, and she still has it on.
On a Barbie doll, but that's pretty damn creative.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And why also it's been fun is to celebrate a child and their innocence and love them and nurture them. But it's also been fun because we've been able to do things that we normally wouldn't do, like go to the pool and like
go to Splash City or wherever we
parks
went. And
restaurants, and we're walking around a lot more. He is, you guys. For all those who are listening,
25 pounds I've lost.
Yeah, Tim doesn't walk that much, and now you are.
It's because my joints hurt.
Yeah, but you don't have to work out or do anything, and you have a great body. It's like, it sucks that I have to.
Because I eat good. Today I've had 2 bananas and 2 yogurts.
Wow, I'm really proud of you.
And some salami.
I'm really proud of you.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Can I give a quick plug out to this?
Yeah.
So who sent us this?
Donal Logue.
Donal Logue is a dear friend of Jen's who has become a friend of mine, but Donal helped write this book called Trejo about one badass Danny Trejo.
Donal Logue, for those of you that don't know him, you have seen him because he's on your screen all the time. He's been in movies like Jerry Maguire. He's been in movies like, he was a guy for the MTV guy back in the day when MTV started their commercials, and he was wearing thick glasses and he was a taxi guy. He's a character actor.
I didn't know that was him.
That was him. He was in Gotham. He still is in Gotham.
He's in a ton of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's been in 100,000 movies.
But they sent us this book that he co-wrote with Danny Trejo, My Life, A Crime Redemption in Hollywood. And I don't read many books. I started reading it. It's really, really good. And most people know Danny Trejo is over 50 years clean and sober and long-term recovery, former convict, actor, philanthropist. I mean, he's got all sorts of cool stuff.
He's a bomb.
Like books like this, I want to support. We are going to be having Danny Trejo and Donal on our show. Donal, I'm sorry, in the near future here. But I don't know why I wanted to give a shout out to that, but I did.
It's a phenomenal read. I saw it be an easy read. I haven't read all of it yet, but it feels like it's going to be just phenomenal I know from beginning, but not to the end yet, but I believe till end. And that was like a horrible way of saying, go get that book.
Buy the book. Yeah. Go buy it. It's fucking great, you know, to take someone, I look at my life out of prison, turn my life around. I'm coming up on 9 years. He's over 50 years sober.
And like how he got into acting is crazy. Like insane. I mean, I can't wait to get him on the show because, you know, he was at a meeting, you know, 12-step meeting, and life changed. And like, if you just keep doing the right indicated thing, whether you're sober, not sober, in the program, this is about whatever, you know, why you're listening to this, you never know why you're showing up to what you're showing up for. But if you do the next right indicated thing, the doors will open for you, and your destiny, the way that it's supposed to unfold, will fold regardless. It will fold.
Trust the process, come to the light, and trust that once you jump, then the net will catch. And that's what I did. But, you know, it gets me looking at things, Jen. And, you know, when you came into my life, I was coming out of I was in the middle of my second divorce. I was in a bad place, but you helped bring me to a whole different level. And then, you know, we happen to fall in love, which is a beautiful thing. But my life today to where it was 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years ago, what a difference in the internal happiness I have today, because I'm not surrounded by this toxic shit 24/7.
Yeah.
I was talking to another friend, and they're mentioning some people, and I said, I don't associate with any of these people. And he said, why? And I said, because all they bring into my life is negativity, and I don't have time for it. He goes, I don't roll with them either. Same reason. Mm-hmm. And I see a lot more people are getting to that point, but a lot of people don't know how to get to that next level, whether it's trying to get sober. It doesn't matter if you're sober or not. They're trying to find out where they're stuck in life. It could be a gentleman or a female transitioning from high school to college to life, to the real world. It could be that relationship. It could be work. It could be whatever. But what are your thoughts on that, Jen?
I love that you're talking about that. And I feel like it leads also into a bigger spectrum of a conversation, in the sense of, you never know, like, okay, have you ever been in a situation like, say your head hurts, right? And it kind of throbbing, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And then all of a sudden, all it is that pain in your head, and the world is coming to an end, right? Like, and you look around and you're like, oh my God, and then your headache goes away, or you are able to step out or do something and it goes, right? And you're like, wow, that was so serious at that right time, at that moment, right? I feel like that's how it is for all our things in our lives, like whether it be the people that we think we need to be surrounded by. And I believe that we're all, and I've said this a million times, we're all stepping stones, you guys. We're stepping stones for each other. I've been stepping stones for people. I will continue to be, and they will be for me. And I learned the lesson for some of them, and others I don't.
What is that saying with the people,
stepping stones?
But people come into your life
for a season, reason, or life.
For a season, a reason, or for life.
And that's okay.
Totally.
Like, and some people are like, no. And it's like, let's just be in acceptance of this. However, if you find yourself, maybe some people, and I'm the first to say, I can get negative real quick. I am going through a lot of pain. I talk about this one day, I'll tell the whole story, but the pain, right? And all of a sudden I become this person that in my head, I'm like, "Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh, nyeh," right? But I probably might be at times, but I am in pain and everything around me feels like it's caving in. The people around me have been, okay, I'm kind of going off cuff
Hey,
here.
don't.
Let me
Just
start again. There's been times where I've had people in my life where they have not benefited me and I
Right.
haven't benefited them. And
Right.
that is okay. They benefited me in the sense of realizing they don't benefit me. And I don't mean using me to get to, for me, using them to get somewhere or something or whatever. I'm saying
found
to
out
have,
that you met them, they came in, and that they're not a
and then
positive
it's over.
influence,
And then
and
like,
move on.
but what you have done, what I have done, I'm the first to admit, we hold on to those people for whatever reason, right? And we're stuck with those surroundings. And all of a sudden, it's 5 years later, and our lives, we're acting like everything's shiny and pretty on the outside, but our lives suck. Right? That's not our
Mine
story.
doesn't.
Not now. I'm saying
Yeah.
in life, like we can be,
But what-
and then you realize it could be 20 years
Right.
later,
But
right?
what did we talk about the other day? I check in with people that I've known my entire life, but it's got to a point to where if I call someone twice or I text them twice and I don't hear anything back, I don't do it again. I don't do it again.
Okay, but it took you a minute to get
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
And what I want people to know is you're not butthurt over it, or you're not being like rude about it. I'm sure if they call you, you'd be delighted to talk to
Absolutely,
them.
but I'm not
But
going
you
out
don't
of my way for
chase-
specific people anymore.
Yeah,
Make
because
sure they're doing okay. And I don't want to come across as a condescending dick here. I got my people that are dear friends, but there's
Yeah.
people that come in and you think, and then you change a job or move or whatever, and then they just kind of disappear.
babe, let's just be honest. Like, are you being fed? And like, are you, and I'm gonna ask
Right,
the
thank
audience,
you.
are you being fed? You know, like it's
Explain
give or
that
take.
deeper.
Give or take, are you being fed? Am I being fed by the nurture I need? Is my husband feeding me with love and kindness or empathy or compassion?
Or negativity.
Or is he
Anger.
just taking?
Right.
I'm using you as an
Yeah,
example.
I get it.
And if I'm not being fed, then there's no reason for me to have you in my life. Not you.
Absolutely.
I'm
No, I
saying in
get it,
general.
Jen. You don't,
But
I'm not
I know
ignorant
you,
here.
but I'm saying people might catch on to the
No.
last part, go, oh my God, there's some things happening.
No, if you don't have people that are feeding you, fueling you in a positive way, get rid of them.
Let me ask you this question
What?
though. Do you ever feel that when you realize you're not being fed by those people that are in your lives and you're giving, and they're not feeding you and you're not being fed? Do you ever feel that you're missing out when you hear other people are associating with them?
No,
No?
I want nothing to
Well,
do with
I used
them.
to feel like,
Now,
oh
why?
man, why couldn't, well, they're hanging out with them.
I
Do they
could
not?
care less.
I don't feel like that anymore, you guys, but there's a growth process that happens through that. And now I'm like, I could care.
I mean, I've got to a point in
life's
my
way too
life.
full.
I mean, what did I write a post about today? The most important things in my life are you, my wife, and my children. That's it. And I don't give a shit, live life to the fullest. And I don't care about what's in the rearview mirror.
Yeah. I got to tell you, speaking of that, when I was getting ready, I was thinking about that, like social media. Have you guys ever gone through like a social media, like not withdrawal, like a timeout, I guess, like a break? It's not even like I intentionally did it for a break. I just got sick and tired of doing posts. I'm not really posting lately. And I just don't, first of all, A, have the time, B, the patience or tolerance for it. C, do I really give a shit? And like, there's been some people in our lives that have like, these people are like stalkers and they were just like looking through your page or my page to see what we were doing. So then they can go to court and like read what we were doing. I don't know. It was weird. I just got so over everyone having to know what I was doing all the time, and I'll change and I'll get back into it.
No, I don't.
But I'm not posting right now, you guys. And like some people are like, you should do it for your brand, or you should do it to like, to keep current. And it's like, fuck being current. Like, fuck. I mean,
who do I need to keep current for?
But some people, this is their life.
Yeah,
so they're like, I mean, I know someone's at a stop sign right now looking at their phone, like while they're listening to this podcast. And listen, I've been there at a time, I think probably when it all started. And then my life.
There was life before social media.
Yeah. And sometimes my life isn't going that It's going great. Yes, I have a roof and I have a husband, all that. But my life, I'm going through some stuff, and I don't have the energy to,
Argue, listen, respond
care.
to, care, be
Yeah,
honest about it. I most important thing right now is your health, our lives, your
Mackenzie.
mom, your brother, my kids, my
Yeah,
parents. It's about it.
Abby, Max,
Yeah, I
Tara.
don't
Yeah.
but the point is, fuck, I don't know. I'm getting off track.
No, social media we were talking about.
I'm done with social
Well,
media.
like, and then people are like, "Are you on TikTok?" Like, no, I'm not on TikTok. I can barely like respond to a text. Like,
Get out and help some fucking people. Do some stuff, It's the whole social media thing too. It's dark, black and white. I had a doctor call me today, Jen. A doctor asking, what do you do when you're getting, he said, my Psychology Today and all my LinkedIn profiles. It turns out it's an ex-employee who he got rid of is posting all this hateful stuff, and it hurts a person's business, career. And unfortunately, that's what I see more and more with social media is the negative consequences when someone's trying to, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing, and all the bashing and hate. I just don't have time for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would rather dive into worlds of like fashion and culture and arts and travel, and I don't know. My interests
Well,
are
the last
changing
thing
right
you
now.
posted was a really cool picture on your Instagram, Jennifer
Oh,
Jimenez.
couture show, yeah.
Oh, couture show. What year was that roughly?
It was in the 90s.
When you were doing your supermodel life?
Yeah, it was Rome. I was in Rome. Twice a year they do the haute couture shows for Italy and the Italian designers and the house of and that one I think was Rocco Baroque. I'm not sure. Was it Dolce Gabbana? I can't remember.
So
But it was kind of really cool to have that. Somebody sent it to me and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
so we've been talking too, because I sometimes it's
You just
hard for
cut me
me.
off in my
No,
total like moment of like light, like fashion. It was fun.
I was getting into more fashion.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because I have a hard time still wrap my head around that you're a supermodel, an actress, blah, blah, blah. But we were driving one day through Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and some award show, and we're talking about the jewelry. How much jewelry, money wise, when you did an event, do they loan you to
They
wear?
literally put them in Ziploc bags, like from Harry Winston on, name them, the jewelry designers, and they give you them in the Ziploc bag, and I could pick whatever I wanted. It was the Oscars, I think, or was it the Golden Globes? And I just walked away with like
How much value?
5-7 million. I had a guard when I'm at the event. But then you have to return it. Like when you're done in a couple, you have a certain amount of days to return it. I mean, but sometimes I take like 1 million, and it's like a necklace and earrings. But at times I've been wearing like $50 million, and I was doing like the Oscar
Unreal.
thing before, like when they were showing the designers and what the look would be, and it was just like every paparazzi, and it's just you down this runway as a model. But then as an actress, I started, getting everything sent to me.
So as you're an actress, you're going to do the Golden Globes or the Oscars or the Emmys or whatever. Are designers reaching out to you and saying, will you wear my dress?
Some are, and others I'm letting them know that I'd like to go and look at their clothes.
And then they give it to you to wear or keep?
Yeah,
or...
I go and I fit, and you fit. Some designers you set up that you get to keep, others you borrow, and like you're literally wearing them off the runway. They have to alter it or not, here and there. It depends how tall, short you are. But it was great, I mean, it was so cool. Even for like parties, I got to wear every designer in the world. It's like, if Vogue is doing a party, like I'm going to be able to be dressed by the best of the best, which has happened to me, and it's like me and Angelica Houston across from each other at this dinner that Vogue's doing, and Anna Winters is there, and Anna Winters is the editor-in-chief of Vogue all around the world. So it's literally like Mick Jagger, rock and roll legend of the fashion world. She owns, fashion. Anna Winters was everything and still is everything. And I'm honored as a model. I got to work with her and Vogue. And as an actress, I got to get stories done.
You mentioned Mick Jagger. You did a music video with
Yes,
him.
Mick Jagger,
and Lionel Richie and Prince and Babyface, but the coolest one by far was who?
Tupac
Shakur. I mean, so
I know that we have talked about that.
Yeah, but still, let's talk about Tupac a little bit. I mean, How old were you when you met Tupac Shakur?
I was in my 20s.
Were you still modeling, and if you crossed over to being
No,
an
I
actor?
was still
Actress.
modeling.
Is it actor or actress?
You know, you can say either or in this day. People like to be called an actor because they like to be taken seriously. But
how did you meet Tupac Shakur?
At the studio when after I got the job. So I showed up to
what job? To do his video?
Yeah, All About You.
All About You.
And like I knew about Tupac being like this up and coming guy, and I didn't really know like what we know now. No one was talking about. He had All Eyes on Me out, and which was his album, and I got asked to do All About You, and I was like, what song is that? And they're like, there's just, and I'm like, who, what are you talking about? Tupac. Now I'm starting to remember flashes. And they're like, yeah, you know, I mean, he does a lot of music videos. It's a lot of booty and tits and, you know, not in jacuzzis. And I'm like, I'm not getting, my tits are not being shown in a music video, neither is my ass. And I'm not going to be in a jacuzzi. And they're like, no, this is actually about his fantasy, and you're a model, and like you transform into these characters. And I was like, that's cool. Okay, whatever. Like, let's see what this goes. And I go there, and I walk in, and there's, you know, we're in the makeup room. And before I get sent into my own dressing room, and we're in the makeup and hair room, and I see this man, and he has this smile, and he has I see a bald head, and he turns around. He's like, hi, I'm Tupac, and the kindest guy. And I literally looked at him, and I almost melted. Like,
I bet.
Wow, I don't know what I'm seeing, and it was at the time where I couldn't understand that realm of life and that like fifth dimension and that spiritual realm of, you know, people, and that there are certain people that have the it factor. And I saw it in him, and he was like, how's it going? Oh my God, thank you for doing the show. And for those who are listening, I grabbed him and his arm and his back, and that's what he did to me. And he's like, yeah, and da-da-da. And they take me to the dressing room, and I'm going to be a cop. I'm going to be a model. Obviously, I'm a model. I'm an Egyptian girl. I'm a motorcycle girl. I'm a bunch of different types of girls in this video. And he was so encouraging and always smiled, always cool. Of course, he was like, you know, he was a dude. So like, you know, he's a rapper.
How long were you on the set for filming?
7 to 10 days. I can't really remember the exact number. I mean, for me, it was just another job.
But you guys built a friendship. We
did build a friendship. And, you know, we had this connection, you know, and he saw me the way that I saw him.
Well,
and it was on a deeper level, was what I mean by that, you guys.
One day you were at his house, and you were just sitting on the sofa, and he started reading some of his poets. Yes. What was that like? I mean, you're with Tupac Shakur.
Well, I didn't know he went to Juilliard, you know, and I was like, wait, how did you get in there, right? And at the time, I contemplated wanting to end modeling. It was towards the end of the time that it was when I probably 3 years later started training to act.
Right.
But I hadn't made that jump yet. And so I was really fascinated by a man who came from the streets.
Right.
From the bad side of the streets, came from a bad upbringing, a troubled one, and made something of himself.
Oh yeah.
And it reminded me a lot of me in my own way. And, you know, I didn't come from a bad upbringing. I had a great upbringing, but I came from not a very rich town, you know, and like I made something of myself.
Sure.
And that's like 1 in a million. Like you don't get those opportunities that much. I mean, think about it. Like,
well, no,
and everyone has
I get it.
These
yeah, everybody has the opportunity, but it's do they execute? Do they roll the dice? Whatever. But yeah,
I don't even know that sometimes you even know. I mean, like at 13, I didn't know that that's what I wanted. But what I'm saying is this man here somehow had a desire so deep within him that he like was such an artist, so creative at such a young age. And his family, even though they were like down and out in certain areas, his mom and his dad
weren't they Black Panthers?
Yes, his mom was. So and like she was strong.
Yeah. No. So what is it like though? You're sitting here in a house with him, just you two chilling, and he starts pulling out his books and reading his poetry.
Remarkable. Again, I'm looking at this man going, I can't believe that this man is sitting here reading poems to me, and they're so deep and so raw. It was something that no one was doing at the time. It's kind of like how when, you know, we talk about in recovery, like be raw and real and like tell your story, don't be ashamed, don't hide anything. It was him then doing that.
So you had told me that Tupac was hitting on you and trying to go out with you, and you shot him down. And I don't know when he said it, but what did he say to you?
Well, I didn't want to be another number. I mean, he was a cutie patootie. Let's not lie about that. He was, he was.
I would have banged him. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you were
I look
thinking.
back and I go, damn it, why didn't I?
Shit.
But I'm actually glad that I have this to say. I mean, it's kind of like, fuck. But I, he was like, trying to do the guy thing. And I was like, yeah, no. And because we'd had a few conversations and they were deep, I wanted to keep that going. Like I don't know. I just wanted to be taken seriously too by a man. Like I didn't want to be looked like as but as just an object. So we, he kept trying to, go like, let's go out. And it was not going to happen. And I said, no. And then he said, one day, all these girls, because of the video, and it's every girl. And actually Kim Kardashian was in that video. She just came out about it, but she played a little girl, like a dancer, backup dancer. We were the main features, and it was just so crazy to say. But then, he says, all these girls are all over, and I'm looking at him, and I'm always watching to make sure he was cool, right? Like he needed to, I wanted him to know that he had a reliable source by him, right? And he looked at me and he was like, you know what kind of girl you are? And I was like, oh, here we go. And I was like, what? And he was like, you're the kind of girl you take home to your mama. And I literally, like, my heart dropped.
Yeah.
And I was like, someone saw it. You know what I mean? Like someone saw it in me. He also told me later, like towards after we finished rapping, he said, you're a fucking mess right now. You really are. You're a mess. You're a whole hell of a hot mess. But you're going to get your life together and you're going to make an impact. And that one always blew me away.
Well, now that you're bringing that up, I'm going to go a little deeper with this because you were talking about, and I don't know how we got on this, but it's just not many people. Everybody knows who Tupac Shakur is.
Mick Jagger too.
I was watching something on Leonard Nimoy yesterday, Spock from Star Trek, about his death, and they said he is one of the most recognized names in the world is Spock. Same with Tupac Shakur. Everybody knows who Tupac Shakur was. He left such a mark on this planet. But you're talking about being in the studio with him once, and you got Snoop Dogg, and you've got
Suge Knight.
And I mean, what was that like? You didn't know who ultimately Suge Knight became, but what was it?
It was weird because Tupac tensed up when Suge Knight was around, and he acted different. His body movement
was it more intimidation, fear,
uncomfortability. Yeah. Like he knew that he had something to do with. Tupac always talked about dying. Like he talked about.
Without Suge Knight, though, you got to look at it. Suge's the one that put up the money to get him out of jail, and who knows what would have happened if he didn't at the time. But then Suge Knight was what? Responsible for what?
He knew that Suge Knight was going to have some kind of impact on his life that was negative, whether it be the ending of something or his life or I don't know. He just knew. And I know that. I also know, and a lot of it, like I will write in my book, some of the details that I'm kind of leaving out here right now. But I also know that I asked him, because he always talked about death. And I said, why do you talk so much about death? And he said, because I shouldn't be alive. And he was always showing me his like scars because he had just gotten shot like 7 times, whatever amount of times. And he said, I shouldn't be alive. They're constantly coming for me. And this is how the game is played. And I thought to myself, yet in the same conversation, the next word would be like, oh my God. And I had so much fun. I'm working with Tim Roth and blah, blah, blah. And he's doing this thing and acting. And I forgot what movie that was that he was doing. And he was so excited. He was like, but in the same time, he was talking about like dying,
Yeah, well, but you're taking someone too that was a unbelievable musician, actor, film industry, the whole shebang. But a lot of things haven't changed because I can't remember the kid's name, but 2 weeks ago in front of Cook County Jail, this rapper gets out and got lit up 67 times, shot him, shot his family. They're still killing these people left and right. These musicians, the people in the rapping world, so many of them are not only dying from gun violence still or carrying guns, it's the drugs that are getting them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing's changed, unfortunately.
And like, you have someone like Tupac and Biggie who were so ahead in every level of their time, you know, and they broke barriers for so many people. And yes, there were so many talented people before them and continue to be talented people after them. But when you hear Biggie and you hear Tupac and you just listen to you
Yeah,
can't
okay.
help but to go,
All right. So
holy
now,
shit.
now I'm going to jump. There's also another individual that was one of the top musicians in the world that you worked with. What was it like working with Prince?
He was very intimidated, very shy, very reserved, very quiet, very introvert. Just like, but he was Prince. Like it didn't matter. He walked in a room and you were like, holy crap. I mean, he was tiny. And he was very nice. He was not at the time, he was very present. He wasn't an addict at the time. You didn't see him feel or act like one. He was dating a girlfriend of mine till this day. She's still one of my best friends. And we had met her and I on that shoot, Willow, and they were, and so we were models together on that show and on the music video. And I was really shocked how quiet he was. Cut to, I end up going to see Prince perform quite a few, like 10 years later. And I'm with Cameron Diaz and Justin Timberlake when they were dating and all these other people. And we're at the House of Blues in a private room. It's like maybe 30 people. And Prince is like from here to like 5 feet from me. And he's performing. And that guy's on fire. And he's like in his music, playing, he's doing his guitar. And he's on like, he's tiny. And it was like fire around him. I'm not kidding you. And I'm just like watching him at the chills telling the story. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the same man that he was like, hi, how are you? You know, and like, he just goes into this little fetal position when he talks.
I vicariously lived through some of your stories and adventures.
But he walked in and it was like, but when he's
the magic.
It's like watching you when you're speaking, you know, or we're interventions. Like
do whatever,
you're on
yeah. When you're on point, you're on point. Yeah. I don't know how the show ended up going that way, but the one thing you've always talked about with Tupac, and I'll end with this, was he is a very spiritual person.
Yes.
Spirituality is such a key for so many people. And the problem is when people hear spirituality, they think religion, they think church. Spirituality has absolutely not a fucking thing to do with religion. At all.
I don't know if people realize, and I agree with you, and I want you to finish this, but I don't know if you realize this. To be creative, you must have spirit.
Absolutely.
Because it's your creative outlet. Your spirit is speaking through your creativeness.
Your
whatever
energy,
that is, your energy.
All of it.
And you can't deny that a spirit doesn't exist and that creativity and a power greater than you isn't formed from that. And I'll end this and I'll let you finish the spirituality part of like it's not a religion. My grandmother died. I watched her die in hospice. Mm-hmm. That woman was a religious woman. She believed in Jesus like there was no tomorrow. And I thank her for that. When she died slowly in peace, like, you know, her feet started, and then when she took her last breath, my grandmother turned like she was 30 years old and her spirit left her body. And she went to the place that she believed she was going. And wherever that was, and I'll call it heaven, because that's what she said she was going. And I saw life leave. Mm-hmm. You cannot tell me that spirit doesn't exist.
No, and if people don't believe, hey, that's up to them. And I wish you the best of luck and believe what you want. But I'll take what's worked for me and obviously what's worked for you, but I have more balance and harmony in my life today. Because of spirituality, because of where I'm focused, where I'm grounded, working out, losing weight, having a communicative relationship with my wife. That's her favorite fucking word. But it's just shifting so much, and I don't give a shit about 99% of the things out there. I just don't care. The family calls, we're there to help, and this and that. You know, I had this, Jenn and I do a number of things, and when I say we work in the treatment industry, I mean, we could be guiding and directing families into treatment, doing interventions, doing speaking events, sober companion, sober transport, whatever. But I had this lady call me from Hoopeston, Illinois this morning, and she's calling about the neighbor kid. And long story short, I did a speaking event there 3 years ago, and her daughter was in the high school and still had a copy of my business card. And the mom called me and she said, you know, for the past 24 hours, I've been trying to help out the neighbor kid. He's 27, he's on meth and this. Police won't help. hospital discharged as a guy after 12 hours. He wants to get into treatment. Call him this place, be here by this time, or you're not going to have a bed. And she said, I'm pulling my hair out. And the whole system's broken.
And out of the kindness of her own heart, she's
just helping the guy. It's her neighbor, who happens to be a meth head. And those are our type of people. But I was able to give her a couple places in Chicago. She got him a bed. She's driving him 3 hours. She said, I can't thank you. You saved me so much time. She said, why is the system like this? The system is so broken because there's not one resource to go to. I mean, rehab.com, which is really good, but you have the Sam Show website. People don't know how to navigate getting help or whatever. That's just the beginning stages of this.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I go back to when I was really sick before I got sober. And my family didn't know what to do. My friends didn't know what to do. We didn't know. And like,
who found the treatment program you went to?
My mom, because my mom and Brandy went to go see my mom's mom's doctors. And he said, there's this place in Pasadena.
That's how they found it though. Okay. Because I can remember I went to treatment January of 1990. I was working at a place called Fretters. They sold stereos and TV equipment. I looked up the rehab in the phone book.
You did?
And I called them. I went in on my own. And I drove up there on a Friday and went in. I think I did an assessment and I went and sat in on a group and I had $400 in my pocket. And then the lady says, well, we can't get a hold of your parents. They were trying to verify the insurance. I'm like, I'm out of here. I ended up coming back a week later and I stayed, but I found it through the phone book and I happened to find a great program, but I didn't stay. So I don't know. I shouldn't say a great program because I was told to go to meetings and that was about it. I don't remember a relapse prevention book or any of that bullshit. I smoked a shitload of cigarettes, drank a lot of coffee and thought I was a badass. People don't know how to navigate. They don't know who to trust. They don't know what to do. And I think one of the biggest factors missing out there is prevention and awareness. If we can prevent people from starting, that's a big part of the solution. Right
well,
there.
I mean, God, forgive me. If I say this incorrectly, please correct me. I'm open to be teachable, giving you guys all heads up on this one. I feel like there's hope for us who are out there who are addicts. I'm in recovery, yes, but there's a lot of people who are 18 and older and are suffering right now. And there's hope. Some of us get better.
People under 18.
Yeah, I know. But there's some of us that get better and some of us that don't.
A lot more don't.
18 and older. I feel that where it needs to start is the youth, because if we get it, we're lucky. Otherwise, we should change it by changing and breaking the cycle. And how do we do that? We keep talking to younger people. You parents keep talking to your kids. Have open dialogue, have open conversations. Don't be on your phone.
Be into their technology. If you got kids under 18,
be in their technology.
Know who their friends are. Hell
but
yeah.
You're not.
Well, you're telling people, why aren't they? I know a shitload of parents that do.
To them. Okay. Your friends and all that stuff, yes, and they're all like doing that stuff, but like you gotta open up. You gotta keep talking. You gotta keep like finding out. You gotta see where they're not communicating, where they're not able to overcome. I deal with these girls, right? I have these two girls. I love them. Every Monday I see them. One's 20, one's 19, or actually one's 19 or 20. The other one's like 23, 4, right? And one has like issues with the daddy issues. And like, all I can do is, because they're so young, is that I could keep talking to them saying, you deserve to have a man that's going to love you for you. So don't keep searching for all the wrong ones, or like, give them pep talks. Girls, these are girls that are not my kids.
And how do these girls find boy to date on
everybody's
apps,
on
Tinder, Bumble?
They're like telling me how they're going to write a book on Tinder and Bumble. And I'm like, God, I remember when those apps came out, and like now there's another one for celebrities, but you have to be invited. She's like, I really want to be invited, because I'm like, you should be dating like really hot actors or someone like incredible, like a doctor. And she's like,
hold on, just because they're an actor, they're incredible?
No, incredible, like good people and like creative people, whatever. Anyways, she's like, there's this one, I forgot the name of it, and she's like, you just got to get invited. It's really hard, but it's all celebrities.
But that's what? But that's where all these kids are at today.
They started coming out, right? And I'm like, I would never, ever in my right mind, I've never done a dating app, but I just was so like turned off by that that thought, but now it's like, that's all they do. You know what I
There's
mean? Like
parents,
that's how
there's
they
over
do it.
50, there's over 60, there's Christian
Yeah, I
online.
mean,
I
there's,
mean, it's
but like that's how these like, and they're not even millenniums, they're younger than that. That's how they're living their life. Everything is, they're like, oh my God, do you Postmate or do you Doordash? I'm like, well, my husband DoorDashes for us. I don't do it. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh my God, but you can do this on Postmate. Like, it was funny because like I come from a different world than they do, you know,
yeah.
on a technology based world. Like everything is given in 2 seconds. But if these girls have had like the wounds that we carry, right? You, me, everybody in our lives. I'm looking at a 19-year-old carrying her issues like I am in my 40s. I overcame my issues in my 30s. And yeah, they come up every now and then. They're not completely, you know, healed all the time, but they come up.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh my God, these beautiful goddesses are walking around with these stupid issues and they're not stupid to them. And I'm like, if they could just break the stupid shit out of them, like clean them up, if somebody would just give them that
People,
attention.
but that's the thing,
Do you know what
though.
I'm saying?
You don't have many young people that catch on right away. Yeah,
But
like my dad. My dad retired at 51, because he kind of got he was traveling, didn't want to travel. But anyhow, he told me, he said, Tim, 20s to 30s, I didn't know anything. 30s to 40s, I started to figure it out. 40 to 50s, where I made my money. He was a commodities trader, but that's where it was 10-year increments. And you know, you look at them now and they've still got the great life, but everybody thinks, they look at the 30 people that are kicking ass that are 18, 20, 22 TikTokers or Instagrammers or whatever they are. But think of the millions that are trying to do this, but they're focusing so much on it. They're not trying to learn any other skills or life skills. And a lot of these people I see are going to be let down by 30 years old.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. And like to go back to your original question, these kids, how do we make a difference? You know, yes, if some of us get it, it's amazing. But I can't keep knocking on doors that are people don't want to change when they don't want to change. But I can definitely keep spreading the word and message and letting kids relate to the same emotions that, you know, it doesn't matter what their backgrounds are.
It's not even the kids, it's the adults too. In April, Jenn and I, we speak nationwide, internationally. We speak on substance abuse, on alcoholism, drug addiction, mental health, suicide, trauma, bullying, eating disorders. Jenn speaks on those. I don't. And we were able to present to, I just got the notes today, 4,812 healthcare workers and legal professionals. And then there was an additional 1,252 people from Uzbekistan, Thailand, the Philippines, Lebanon, Malaysia, the Netherlands, Pakistan, Ireland, India, Germany, Israel, and Canada. Out of this, Jenn and I did a 2-hour keynote presentation. Our rating was a 96%.
What?
And it was very detailed. This is like a 30-page report. Some of the comments: authentic, useful, helpful, and supporting working with those in recovery and active users. Thank you. Awesome presentation. Couldn't get enough of this powerhouse couple. Both presenters did an excellent job this presentation. It's always good to hear from consumers who can tell their story and what worked for them. Both were very exuberant, almost too much, because they had so much knowledge and wisdom on the history on recovery, attempting to educate the community on what works and what doesn't work. It's so refreshing to see a look on my clients' families and faces that have been touched by Tim and Jenn.
Wow. I'm humbled. I know I just danced. I got very excited about that.
But I want people to know, and we don't just go share a story, we provide solutions. You can reach us at Dope to Hope, www.dopetohope.com if you want to get us booked. We do schools, we do high schools, middle schools, colleges, corporations, community events. And there's a lot more to it. So check us out. You know, this is what we do.
I'm really humbled that we got
I was blown away.
I know you were. And when you read, I haven't seen it all the way yet, but when you read that to me earlier, I was like, oh my God. Well, it's nice to hear the feedback, because you never do. You know what I mean?
Some of them I do.
I don't.
But a lot of these ones where they get their CEUs for the college credits and stuff are very instrumental. And
I'm humbled
to do the contract work we had to go through to book this with the state of Ohio. was the most detailed contract. Abrams artist had a hell of a time with it,
Yeah.
but it worked out. But this is why too, because we get all this
That's our
positive
agents, you
feedback.
guys. Like people may not
Oh,
know.
that's yeah. I actually have an agent too. Go figure that
Yeah.
one. But you know, it's good. It's good to get out. It's good to let people know negatives to positive, but you don't have to ever start. You don't ever have to go down the road Jen and I went down.
No, you don't. And if you're having a moment in your life, and you feel that you're the only one going through this, and you feel like you're trapped, and you feel that you're stuck in this dark box, I get it. Boy, do I get it. I get it. I get
Me
it.
too.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say me too, but I wanted to say this before I said me too was, I'm in this place, and I know Tim's like going to roll his eyes, but I'm going through a lot of pain.
I'm rolling my eyes
through a lot, an extreme level. And people might go, oh my God, yeah, it's not a paper cut. It is a
no,
level
you have severe chronic pain.
10, excruciating, severe, I'm going to die, the world's coming to an end pain. And it's every single day at some point or another, or all day. And I don't know what it's like today. It's like, you don't know, we're playing Russian roulette every day, like going, not sure, not sure. And what I want to tell you is, when I'm in that pain, there's something about pain that creates this whole world inside your head where things that would never be rational become rational. Like the thought of dying becomes kind of ideal at some point, or the thought of like, I can't live past the next month with this, and you've heard me say this. And I say, and I haven't wanted to literally commit suicide, but I don't want to live when I'm in that pain. And I'm not taking anything, which is to a fault at this point.
Yeah.
And we got to make a decision quick. And I've been checking around to see which way to go about that, to do it the healthy way, until this goes and surgery happens. But last Saturday night, we went to bed and I couldn't sleep a little bit and I didn't understand. And you're snoring away. And at 5 a.m, I'm still wide awake. And my kidney stone decides to come out.
Yeah.
It's the second time. I have 5 more. In a couple more. I have 5 more as we speak. But the other things that I have going on, that's nothing. That's the small part of what's really going on with me, because we have answers of what is going on with me. I am like, oh my God, here we go. And like, I can't fight it. And so like the rationality goes out the door. And
your mind and your body are in survival mode.
I'm like literally
some of the shit that comes out of your mouth, I'm like, the good thing about you is you'll come to me and say, honey, I it's not about you, but I have this question or I have this thought, and I'll be like, what are you talking about? And you'll be like, okay, it's my mind.
And part of my side effects are throwing up a lot, excruciating level 10 pain, but I suffer like the depression. A lot of people get really depressed during it. So like I'm in this like I can't live state when I'm in that pain, and then I'm like, am I depressed? And then nothing, all that one thought goes into all these other thoughts.
And then what do? Breathe, push. We watched The Handmaid's Tale, and if you binge watch that like we did, you'll know what I'm talking about.
He does it,
but it'll pull her out of her moment or make her. I try to use humor a lot to pull you out of it. And sometimes I gotta hold you and watch you cry, and it's heart-wrenching because I can't do anything. I can support you, I can love you, I can help you walk, wipe your ass, whatever. That's a joke. But I can't take your pain away.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for that. And we'll get through this. But thank you for sharing about that.
And so when I say like me too, I get it. Like if you're going through this, like I'm in that right now. Like when I'm in that pain, I'm in this, oh my God, no one understands. And I have no one to talk to. And I said it, screamed it the other day. I just want to like cry to somebody. And I'm crying to my husband at the same time that I'm saying I want a girlfriend to cry to or a friend to cry to. And I'm telling,
good enough.
Yeah. And I'm crying to him. Like, that's not rational. Right. So, and then I'm like, I just need to get away. But then I'm like, where am I going to get away to? I'm like, I can't go anywhere.
Go to Florida. COVID spiking again.
That's another thing. I know you don't want to talk about it, but Matt, my goodness, this is like, it's just scary shit, man. It's scary times.
So we can stay in scary times, or we can stay in the positive, make the best of every day. And that's what I prefer to do. I am realistic. I've got my vaccine. I'm good to go. I got to travel. I go travel. I'm not worried.
With the vaccine. Let's not
Not
get
many, not near as many as without the vaccine. We can argue about this shit. Let's go. Mount up to the mic, woman. Let's go.
This virus is so strong that it's replicating or multiplying into now people that have been vaccinated can still get it. But the point of all this is most of my illness shit is COVID related, which is fucking crazy, you guys. Well, so don't tell me it doesn't exist.
Now, here's the crazy thing is when we're sitting with the doctor, a cardiologist. I mean, who? The cardiologist, and he says, look, we know this is COVID related. We just don't have enough research and data on exactly where to point what's caused it, what's exactly happening, because you have all these different things, but yes, it's COVID related.
Yeah. And so does my oncologist at Beverly Hills Cancer Center says the same exact thing. So.
And that's what's really frustrating. And it's the same as that lady trying to find help for treatment. Like
you guys, insurance drives me freaking crazy. Like this amazing cardiologist started on me and then he dropped my insurance. I'm like, oh my God. And we have great insurance. I mean, it's anyhow. Anyways,
let's leave on a positive note here. Give some positive vibes for the week. Find your wave, feel your wave, ride your wave. Always look towards the sun and keep the sand out of your shorts. Thank you, Kevin O'Donnell. Rest in peace.
So cute.
For the Tim and Jen show, my name is Tim Ryan. It's my amazing wife, Jennifer. We would like to thank Lux Media. We would like to thank Chris, our engineer, Candace, all our sponsors.
And more importantly, we want to thank you.
Our listeners, and, live life. Quit getting caught up in the bullshit.
Life's too short.
Yeah, life is too fucking short to be miserable, man. If
your life is not a dress rehearsal, you got one shot. That's it. You live to the fullest, balls to the wall. If not, fucking don't complain.
Amen. My name is Tim Ryan. It's my amazing wife, Jennifer Jimenez. For the Tim and Jen show, we're signing off. We'll see you next week. We want to talk to you about Clean Cause, better caffeine. What's in the can? Our organic, sparkling Herba Mate is a premium pick-me-up that won't let you down. Every can of Clean Cause contains 160 milligrams of better caffeine, and each sip supports recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. 50% of the profits go to assist people into sober living. Check out cleancause.com.
Seaside Palm Beach is an executive luxury addiction treatment center located in Palm Beach, Florida. Our private clients come from all over the world, including business executives, professional athletes, celebrities, and more. Seaside Palm Beach offers first-class amenities and high-end accommodations, including a gourmet culinary experience, ocean views, pet-friendly facilities, and access to cell phones and laptops during your stay. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, please call us at 877-959-5053. Again, that number is 877-959-5053.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. now we have the product out on the market.